today's video,
Lunchly versus Lunchables.
5 foods that are so unhealthy, just eating them can ruin any chance of improving your kidney health. Catherine here, I'm a doctor in natural medicine and probably the last creator not selling junk food to their audience here on YouTube. In fact, in an incredible turn of events, popular YouTube creators such as KSI, Mr. Beast, and Logan Paul have decided that in order to make more money, in order to make your children healthier, they want you to buy their new product, Lunchly. What is Lunchly?
Lunchly versus Lunchables.
With Lunchly, you get double the amount of liquid.
Well, according to them, Lunchly is a healthier version of Lunchables, the super popular pre-packaged meals all the kids are eating these days. Now, this new product is indeed so bad that all the other YouTubers are now calling out Mr. Beast and company for their greed. Mr. Beast in trouble, they say. Mr. Beast's Lunchly is worse than we thought. Mr. Beast's Lunchly is a disaster, and so on, as we can see.
Lunchly.
Because they fall into the category of ultra-processed foods.
You have the captive attention of all children on the internet, and you decide to make a profit at the expense of their health.
So yeah, they made a product so unhealthy that our real civil war broke out on YouTube. And that got me thinking, are these YouTubers the only ones greedy enough to try and sell junk foods to unsuspecting customers? Or maybe there are other brands, maybe even brands that you trust, that are selling you healthy foods that will damage your kidney health beyond repair? I mean, I know what you are thinking. No, Catherine, big brands such as Nestle, Kellogg's, Kraft, Hershey's, Danone, and Quaker will never lie to us. They are nothing like that Mr. Beast. They could never be greedy enough to be the main cause of today's world obesity epidemic. And guys, I would really like to believe that, but what if your trust in these brands is misguided? What if decades of aggressive marketing skewed our perception of what's actually healthy? Let's take a look at 5 foods that are so unhealthy, just eating them can ruin any chance of improving your kidney health, and that are being sold as healthy. Starting with number 5, Kellogg's Special K. Oh, this can't be unhealthy, can it? I mean,
Real fruit, whole grains.
it has real fruit, right? It must be good for you, just like the ad says.
Something good for yourself has never been this delicious.
And everyone knows that Special K's cereals are light, low in fat, and rich in fiber, perfect for a healthy breakfast. Or are they? Guys, if we look at the label of your box of Special K's, we will see something we will prefer we didn't see. Because you see, unfortunately, most of the health claims Kellogg's make about their cereals are totally bogus.
Is this legal?
I mean, they're supposed to have real fruit in them, but do you know what you will get from real fruit that you won't get from Special K's cereals? Fiber! Yeah, there is little to no fiber in here. It's almost like their fruit is only real in the ads. What you will get from Special K's that, on the other hand, you will not find in fruit is a lot of added sugar. Okay, and now you may be thinking, well, 29 grams of carbs and just 5 grams of sugar. That's not bad for a morning cereal, isn't it? Well, the problem here is that those 5 grams of sugar are coming from just 39 grams of cereals, or 1/4 cup of Special K cereals. I mean, guys, do you know what happens to me when I eat 1/4 cup of sugary cereals? Yeah, I want another portion, or maybe 3. Yeah, that's what sugar-rich empty calories foods will do to your brain. They create cravings, and these cereals contain almost no fiber at all, as we can see. They are not going to make you feel full at all. They are just going to make you want to eat more cereals. It's like they're designed to keep you in a perpetual state of more, more, more. They're a breakfast scam. So turns out Special K isn't making you special. Unless by special, you mean someone who's just consumed a bowl of sugar-coated lies. If you actually care about your health, just grab an apple, some oats, and a dash of reality. You deserve better than this cereal con job. Okay, here's another junk food item that advertising spent decades convincing people it's actually healthy. Number 4, let's see it.
When something tells you that you need to lose the odd pound or two, it's worth dipping into a pot of Yoplait diet yogurt, heavy on fruit, but still light on calories. It means dieting needn't be such a painful...
Okay, that's my favorite ad of all times. It has everything. Body shaming.
That you need to lose the odd pound.
Check. Very bad lifestyle advice. Check.
It's worth dipping into a pot of...
And above all else,
dipping into a pot of Yoplait diet yogurt.
False advertising. All in like what? 3 seconds? Yeah, those madmen of the 90s were the real Mr. Beast. So yeah, avoid exercising and eat diet yogurt instead. Possibly let a sexy nurse spoon feed you. But yeah, the 90s were glorious and I was actually there to see them. Yeah, I look younger than I actually am, but looking at the 90s now, what I think is, how were those commercials even legal? I mean, no one noticed the effect those commercials had on the population. Years and years of aggressive marketing campaign by food brands like the one we have just seen ended up instilling in the consumer a fake sense of what's actually healthy. And this is why very often we end up eating the unhealthiest things when we think we are eating healthy. Example, this is diet yogurt. If we check the label, we can see that there is actually no fat in it. That's how they reduce calories. And they removed it just to add, oh, here it is, sugar. So yeah, good luck losing weight by eating this kind of junk food. And of course, many brands do this kind of shenanigans with many fat-free foods, including spreads, salad condiments, granola bars, meal replacement shakes, and more. Don't get fooled, guys. Always check the labels so you can avoid foods with an excessive amount of added sugar like this yogurt. So, what's next? Number 3. Oh, wonderful. Let's go from junk foods sold as healthy by the TV to junk foods sold as healthy by internet influencers. So this piece of misinformation is coming from Dr. Buzz, and I really love her. I mean, since I debunked one of her health claims, the YouTube algorithm keeps pushing her content to me, and it's a real gold mine of misinformation. So she basically says, you need to eat butter by the stick like it was apples.
I tell my patients to eat butter. It's actually a way to learn what satiety feels like.
What?
And why, you ask? Because it makes you feel satiated.
It's not a heart attack in a wrapper. It's actually a way to learn what satiety feels like. Many people struggle to recognize when they feel full. The longer chain fats in butter are a signal for your brain that it's time to stop eating. You're full.
I mean, you just downed 400 calories in one bite and you're happy because you feel satiated? Well, you should feel satiated, shouldn't you? Or at least nauseated. You just got in one bite the same amount of calories you will get from a full meal. Yeah. You can really put together a whole food, plant-based healthy meal that will make you feel satiated, but for real, and that has less calories than the bite of butter she just took. Seriously, guys, people don't realize how caloric dense butter actually is. I mean, you could eat 4 whole apples and you would still have had less calories than she just got from downing that bite of butter. And of course, this kind of misinformation is especially bad for people with diabetes. They tell you to eat butter because it has no carbs, right? But do you know what happens if you eat like she does? You are never, ever going to get better with diabetes.
I tell my patients to eat butter.
Because no, butter won't really make you feel satiated. Being nauseated and being satiated are not the same, Dr. Buzz. And butter is incredibly caloric dense and it will make you gain weight, especially if you trust influencers telling you to eat it like that. Guys, let's be very clear about this. There is no way you will ever be able to lower your blood sugar levels naturally if you eat like she does, alright? Not even if you take Ozempic. Butter is too caloric dense. It's the first thing you should remove if you have diabetes or if you need to lose weight. And no, I don't care if it's grass-fed, if it's salt-free, if it's ghee or whatever, because it's true that eating butter in moderation is not unhealthy for the general population. But if you have kidney disease, butter is way too rich in phosphorus to be present in your diet in any amount at all. And this is why when you see Dr. Buzz or any other carnivore keto influencer push their agenda on social media, you should always take whatever they say with a grain of salt. And when I say a grain of salt, what I mean is one of those salt blocks they give cows to lick. Okay, up next, number 2. Let's talk about margarine. I can't believe I was going to talk about butter without mentioning margarine. So margarine has been sold for a long time as a healthier version of butter. And you know what?
Believe it's not butter. All the great taste you love, but with 60% less saturated fat than butter.
Those commercials were right, at least in part. Okay, wait a moment before rushing to the comment section to tell me that margarine is full of oils that are very inflammatory and full of trans fats, because someone already did that and I'm here to answer that very rude comment. So it's clear there is a huge amount of misinformation going on about butter and margarine, no doubts, thanks to health influencers. And while the current trend is pushing butter as a more natural, healthier alternative to margarine,
close. Butter wins by a complete knockout.
Yeah, that. But as we have seen, butter is full of phosphorus and very bad for people with kidney disease. But what about margarine? Is that a good low phosphorus alternative to butter, or is margarine very inflammatory and full of trans fats? So here's the thing about margarine and oils in general. For most people, they should only be consumed in great moderation. Yeah, I don't recommend putting a ton of margarine in everything you eat. Far from it. And if you were ready to see me biting a solid margarine stick like an idiot, well, I'm sorry, I will have to let you down. I don't even have margarine in my fridge to begin with. Actually, to most of my patients, I would not recommend margarine at all. The exception being those patients that are really struggling to keep their weight on, of course. And even in that case, I would prefer olive oil or avocado oil. But even seed oils and margarine, they won't harm you as long as you are trying to gain weight, not to lose it. Alright? So what about the claim that seed oils and margarine are inflammatory? Well, the contrary is actually true. Several studies are in fact reporting that increased consumption of seed oil is not linked to increased inflammation. Even the American Heart Association supports the inclusion of seed oils in your diet. So yeah, if you have to choose between butter and margarine, the better choice is always margarine, of course, as long as it is trans fat free. And this is important as long as your goal is to gain weight, not to lose it. In fact, if your goal is to lose weight, you shouldn't even look at pure fat sources. You shouldn't even have that stuff in the fridge, let alone your plate. But not everyone's goal is to lose weight. In fact, while margarine and seed oils are not inflammatory per se, despite what most health influencers claim, they still have a huge issue. They are super rich in calories. And do you know what's really inflammatory? Carrying extra body weight. Guys, the calories are the real enemy in margarine and oils in general, not the oils themselves. Let that sink in for a moment. Excess body fat is the real enemy here. But of course, influencers cannot tell you that the enemy is body fat here because that will make their whole existence irrelevant. Yep, in order to stay relevant, they need to invent a new enemy every few years. First it was sugar, then carbs and fruit, and now we seed oils. Oh, seed oils, so scary. And yeah, these influencers may soon become irrelevant, but at least they're funny. Next on, a food made with only one goal in mind. Fool people trying to eat healthier. Number 1 is fake meat. Oh, here, take a look. How appetizing. So, what could be worse than foods that are marketed as good for you, but that actually destroy your kidneys? Well, of course, foods that are marketed as a way not just to save you, but whole planet as well. Yes, people are convinced that this burger is going to solve all the health, environmental, and ethical problems of the world. This burger, okay, I've actually tried it and it doesn't taste as bad as it looks. But is it healthy? To give an answer to this question, we need to understand what vegan meat really is. Vegan meat is basically made from pea protein, soy protein, wheat gluten, various types of vegetable oils, tons of additives, starches, all heavily processed to look like this. And the problem is not just that it looks like this, it also doesn't really taste like meat. So food companies also add lots of salt, saturated fats, and some more additives. I mean, do I even really have to tell you that fake meat is bad for your kidneys? Actually, just like any other food that's pumped with preservatives, additives, and tons of salt, this burger is not going to be healthy for anyone, let alone save the planet. And now the question is, if everything is bad for me, what do I even eat? Well, I have actually just made a video to answer exactly that question. It's up here and also down in the description. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.